Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Now, please raise your glasses and greet with good cheer the Duke of Draft, the Prince of Pills, the one true King of Beers. He is the pub landlord, Mr. Al Murray. Good evening, do you want a glass for that, pal? Yeah? Good boy, excellent. Good decision. What's your name, Squire?
Seamus.
Seamus! Beautiful British name. Great to have you here. What's the name of your mate? What's your name, pal?
Bill.
Bill? Do you want a glass, Bill?
Yeah.
Fantastic. What do you do for a living, Bill? Tell me.
I work in Bermuda.
You work in Bermuda? Fucking hell, you jammy bastard. What is it that you do in Bermuda, sir? Tell me.
I'm a marine biologist.
You're a marine biologist. Fantastic. I think actually you're a lying bastard, sir. What do you do, Bill? Seriously.
I work with the dolphins.
You work with the dolphins, no you don't, sir. Why would you hang around with a bloke called Seamus if you had a glamorous job like that, eh? Because he's your brother. What do you do, Seamus, yourself?
Student.
You're a student, eh? Of course, I asked, the initial question I asked is, what do you do for a living? And then you come back at me with student. Now, what are you studying? What are you studying, Seamus? Tell me.
Geography.
Geography. Fantastic. What's the capital of Czechoslovakia, then? You don't know, do you? It's the Czech Republic now, anyway, isn't it, pal? That's all right. Yeah. Prague. All right, then what's the capital of the Slovakian Republic, sir? Bratislava, you dozy twat. You're obviously only in your first year, aren't you? Now, great to have you here, Squire. Geezer on the end with the earring. Are you a pirate? Is that it? Or a curtain, eh? Which? You're neither, aren't you, Squire? What do you do? What's your name, pal? Steve! Beautiful British name. What do you do, Steve? Tell me. You're a pianist. You don't look like one, sir. You're a chunky monkey, aren't you? You're thinking of the future, aren't you, mate? And it clearly involves a famine somewhere along the line. It's survival of the fittest, my friend, Steve. You've misheard it, haven't you? Are you visible from space with a naked eye? Now you're beautiful, but geezer on the end, you in the white shirt. What's your name, pal?
Al.
Al? Do you want a glass for that? Because you're drinking from a plastic half, and that's giving off all the wrong signals, isn't it, pal? There you go, son. Tuck in. Fantastic. Good luck to you. Now, geezer here? Yeah? Yeah? Without socks on? What's that all about, pal? Hey? Is that 'cause the doctor says you have to live as a woman for a year? Is that it? To prove you're serious about the operation? I mean, all red-blooded men are curious about what the inside of a lady's loo looks like, but that's taking a bit far, isn't it, pal? I was never confused. Now, fellas, what are you drinking, mate? What's that? Hey? Champagne? Hand it over. Rules is fucking rules, mate. Pint for the fella, glass of white wine, a fruit-based drink for the lady, those. Heats off, mate. What's your name, Squire? Stephen. What do you do for a living, Stephen? You what?
Retired.
You've retired. What job didn't need you anymore, then? Which career is heaving a massive sigh of relief? Tell me. What were you, sir?
I was a builder.
You're a builder? Oh, right. Yeah. How long were you a builder for, sir? About 10 years. Is that an estimate? So, right, let's have a look at the other box over here. What? Are you drinking lager, love? Are you? Yeah? Let's have a look. Yeah? What are you drinking, sweetheart? Tell me there's lime in that, sweetheart, please. Pass it over, I need to check it. Yeah? Rules is rules, and that's where we are, yeah? Pint for the fella, glass of white wine, a fruit-based drink for the lady. Those are the rules! If we didn't have rules, then where would we be, eh? That's right, France! So... let's check it, shall we, swear? Here we go. No, there's no lime in there, is there, love? No, there isn't. No, regard that as a confiscation. You're not going to go with that, love, don't worry. Here it comes. Fantastic. Now, order restored. Now, you're fab. Do you want a pint, by the way, Steve? You like a pint of John Smith's Extra Smooth? It's a beautiful pint, this John Smith's Extra Smooth, pure silk in a glass, that's what they say. Do you like to drink in the lounge bar whilst watching Sky Television? With XFM on in the background, and that is the sponsor's done. You get the full package here, Steve, here it comes. Return you to normal, my friend, there you go. What's your mate called? What's your name, pal?
Jeff.
Jeff, you a builder as well, Jeff?
I'm his bodyguard.
You're his bodyguard? Yeah, I suppose the shoddy jobs you've done in your time, you need someone to protect you. Now, the point is this. You're beautiful people. Have we got anyone from overseas here tonight? Anybody from overseas? Yeah? Fabulous. From which vanquished nation do you hail, sir? Tell me. Where you from?
United States.
United States. Fantastic. Welcome, eh? Welcome. I love you people. What's your name, Squire?
Neil.
Neil! Beautiful British name. Now, Neil, tell me. Neil, how long have you been in Great Britain, Squire?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah? Yeah? Tell me, if you had to sum up Great Britain in one word, Neil, what would it be, mate? Come on. Come on, Neil. Shit will get off the pot, sir. You what? Football. No. The word you're looking for, mate, is great, isn't it? Clues in the name, for fuck's sake. Those are yank. Now, no, I love Americans. You're beautiful people, aren't you? Yeah? Yeah, you're beautiful people. Because the world... No, I love them. Oh, back off. I love them. I love them. I love Americans, because the world needs people like Americans, don't they? Because you're dreamers, aren't you? Yeah? Yeah? You're dreamers, aren't you, Neil? Yeah? Because you've got that American dream. The American dream. Yeah? You're an American dreamer. Dreaming the American dream, aren't you, Neil? Yeah? Yeah? Now, the fact is, Neil, we don't have a dream in Great Britain. We don't. Yeah? There is no British dream. Yeah? Yeah. This isn't because we lack some sort of sense of moral purpose. This isn't because we haven't got a sense of guiding destiny taking us towards a better tomorrow. No, we don't have a dream in this country, Neil, because we're awake. It's that simple. And what is that dream of yours anyway? Life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Hey? I'd be embarrassed to write that down if I were you, Squire. It's a pleasure to have you, you're beautiful bloke. I love Americans, you're beautiful people. Yeah? You're simple folk, aren't you? If an American can't explain something, he says he's aliens, doesn't he? At least British people are prepared to admit when they're pissed, Neil. I mean, we're sensible people in this country. This is a reasonable country. It's a reasonable size, isn't it? Great Britain isn't that big, yeah? America's vast, isn't it? Far too big, unwieldy country, yeah? Britain's compact, yeah? You reasonable size. I mean, the mountains aren't exactly that big, are they? Yeah? They're big enough to learn how to climb mountains and then practice and conquer other peoples. They're not that big in themselves. I mean, the wildlife is not particularly wild, is it? Squirrels are not going to hunt you down in packs, are they? We don't have earthquakes in this country, do we? No, because we don't deserve them. It's that simple. Anyone who builds a city on a thing called the San Andreas Fault really has got it coming. In fact, it's Neil, it's not San Andreas' fault, is it? It's yours for building it there in the first place. Classic American behaviour. Trying to palm the blame off onto some poor fucking Mexican. Forget the Alamo! Now, what is this? We're sensible, down-to-earth people in this country. Aren't we? Yes, Steve?
Oh, we are.
Here we are. Can you play God Save the Queen? Yeah? F, F. G. D, E, F. G, G. A, G. F, D. E, F, G. A, C. Now, what is this? What is this? You might be look stupid, eh? What is this? What is this? We're sensible, down-to-earth people in this country, aren't we? Hmm? This is a sensible, down-to-earth country. I mean, we never put a man on the moon, did we?
No. What would be the fucking point?
You Yanks, you're banging about how you got there first, but no one else was trying, were they, mate? Don't count. Doesn't matter who comes first when you're on your own, does it, like Jim? It's been a year. I mean, we're sensible people in this country, aren't we? Down-to-earth people. Yeah, we never put a man on the moon. Nah, the moon was never going to be part of the British Empire, was it, mate? There's no one to give it back to once we're done with it, was there? There's no point going to the moon, putting in a railway, trial by jury, parliamentary democracy. There's no bastard living there, is there? That's the trick. There's nothing to be gained in the way of hot and spicy food or Olympic quality athletes. It's a waste of a journey. I mean, why would the British, the very people who invented gravity, want to go somewhere where there isn't any, hey? Doesn't make any sense at all. Now, the moon should be left to its own business of tides, werewolves and periods. No. If anyone can explain to me the actual difference between them last two... Stage door later. Now, the point is this. No, one man's silver bullet is another woman's bar of chocolate, isn't it? Period, Neil. That's an example of a word that means different things to you and I, doesn't it, Squire? Because you're a Yank and I'm British, yeah? Yeah? That's right. Period, yeah? To the American woman, the word period probably means something like full stop, doesn't it? That's the same thing for American geezers, eh, Neil? Because we're divided by a common language, that's right, and a fucking great big ocean, thank Christ. The point is this. Let's then explain. Now, the point is this. I think it's time, though, I cracked on now with the meat of why we're here tonight, why I've gathered you here tonight, this lecture that I'm giving in. So I want to talk about why we, the British, are permanently one step ahead of the rest of the world at all times. Yeah? One full step ahead of the world at all times. And that is because of our secret weapon, what I like to call British thinking. Now, British thinking is the finest bloody thinking in the world! Because British thinking is about combining things and creating something greater than those things from those things. Sorry, I can't be any more specific than that. Now, this pint I'm holding in my hand here is a classic example of British thinking in action, isn't it? Yeah? Because the glass itself was manufactured in France. Arseholes, the beer. The beer they're in is, of course, lager, which originated in Germany. One, but... Put them two things together with British thinking, and what have you got? Hey, a great British pint. You see? British thinking, now. British thinking is the finest thing in the world. It won us the Second World War. No help from no one else. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. No. You're not in a fight from the start, Squire. You're not in a fight at all. was just lucky, mate, we was there to point you in the right direction. Let's face it, America's efforts on their own have been far from glorious. We stayed out the Vietnam War for one simple reason. We wanted our war films to remain cheerful.
You only sing when you're winning, I mean...
The damn busters are going down in flames, 1 in 3, but they're chipper about it, aren't they? Hey? Lest we forget, war is hell, Neil, I know, but only when you're fucking losing. Yeah, point is this. Point is this. British thinking. It's the finest thing won us the Second World War due to the invention
of the bouncing bomb. Now,
the bouncing bomb is a classic of British thinking. The bouncing bomb with which we flooded the Germans out in Holland or so, I don't know. It's a detail, it's not relevant. Now, the bouncing bomb is a classic of British thinking, isn't it, yeah? Because plenty of people have made things that bounce over the years, haven't they? Yeah? And plenty of people have made things that explode. But only the British, with British thinking, took them two separate and rival ideas, jamming them together, and come up with a bouncing bomb. And I think, to celebrate the millennium, what we should not have done was built a giant tent on a disused gasworks. That was a £40 solution to a £10 problem, if ever there was one. No. What we should have done was obvious. We should have got that Lancaster bomb we got that still works, yeah? Dusted her down, built a fresh bouncing bomb, and attacked the Thames Barrier for old time's sake.
show the world we still fucking got it, yeah?
Flood Peckham. Put Britain back on the map by taking Peckham clean off of it.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few on that one, and then
on the return journey, the pilot could fly up the Severn River, take them two bridges out, cut the Welsh off permanent. You can always dream. Now, the point is this. British thinking is the finest thing in the world, yeah? Here's an example. Steve, you ready for this? You ready, Steve? Here we go.
chickens. Chickens. Chickens
come from China originally. Did you know that, Steve?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You learned something, didn't you? Yeah? The evidence is there, though, Steve, isn't it? Yeah? C-H-I chicken, C-H-I China. Stare you in the face, innit? Go on, do the stare in the face action. Go on, do it. Like that. Good boy, yeah?
Chickens
come from China. Spuds come from the New World, South America. Did you know that? Spuds come from America originally. I know, they ended up in Ireland. Yes, you're right, Steve. And the Irish ended up in America, some sort of trade-off. I'll let you decide who's better off on that deal. Yeah, what is this? British thing is the finest thing in the world. Chickens come from China. Spuds come from South America. Weaving, Steve, weaving, yeah, comes from the ancient Sumerian civilization found in the 3rd millennium BC in what is now southern Iraq. Did you know that?
No.
No. That's 3 things you've learned. You need to go to more pub quizzes, don't you, Steve? Brush up on your general if you want to make the team, yeah? Chickens, spuds, weaving. From all over the world! But it was the British, with British thinking, who invented chicken in a basket with chips. And that's why we're top dog number fucking 1. Beat that Neil with your man on a bloody moon, eh?
chicken in a basket, £4.50. Yeah?
Man on the moon, $8 billion. You didn't think it through, did you, Squire? The British thing is the finest thing in the world. It saved all of your lives, I expect. Who here has ever taken penicillin or antibiotics? Show of hands, please. All right, who's never took them? That's a simpler route. Who's never took it? Geezer there, what's your name, pal?
Carl.
Carl. Beautiful British name. Now, what'd you do, sir?
I sell fruit and veg.
You sell fruit and veg. Which market?
I'm from Lancashire.
You're from Lancashire. Fantastic. Yeah, what do you think of the big cities are, eh? Now, Cole here, you mate, you know how to get over an illness like you did in the old days, don't you, Squire? Yeah? Yeah, because you don't take penicillin antibiotics, yeah? Because people live their lives wrapped in cotton wool, don't they, Cole? Yeah? Yeah, these days, people got it easy, don't they? They just take their pills, they get better. It's ridiculous. Yeah? We're breeding a nation of weaklings, aren't we? Yeah? God help us if the Germans try again. The track record indicates all sort of potential, doesn't it? You can only judge a horse by the races it's run, like Jim. That's right. Leopard spots. That's right. Let's never forget that German tanks are called leopards. They're giving us a hint there. Now, what is this? The point is this. Do you want a top up, love? Want some more wine? Fantastic. Here it comes for you. You're all dolled up, aren't you? Who's with the keys of the earring? What's your name, pal?
Damien.
Damien. It's your year, isn't it, mate? 999 on the back of his head. Son of an ambulance driver. Now, what is this? What is this? Show myself here. These days, we live our lives wrapped in cotton wool. We just take our pills and we get better. I mean, it's just ridiculous now, the lives people live. I mean, everyone these days has got asthma, haven't they? Oh, I can't get down the stairs. Oh, I can't get back up. I'm all right now. It's ridiculous. It's that bad. Buy a fucking bungalow, for Christ's sake. I mean, everyone drives their kids to school, so the kids won't be run over by the people driving their kids to school. As a result, we're breeding an entire generation of barrel-chested, pigeon-toed, flat-footed, socially inadequate, no-sense-of-direction twats. There's always university, isn't there, Seamus? Now, what is this? What is this? British thinking gave us, of course, penicillin antibiotics. Now, in the old days, when you got sick, right, you get a proper fucking illness, wouldn't you? Yeah? Yeah? You'd be poorly at breakfast, dead by tea. Boils in the armpits, quit making plans. It's over. In the old days, you get a proper fucking illness, wouldn't you? Yeah? Yeah? Like the plague! That's right, the plague, not a plague. Not Steve's plague. Not Seamus's plague. Not Kieran's plague. No, the plague! Yeah, with this cheeky nickname, the Black Death. It's going to kill you. It's bring out your dead, isn't it? Not bring out your wheezy. It's going to get you. It's a proper fucking illness. This disease means business. It's carried by rats, for Christ's sake. It kills 1 in 3 people, gets itself a nursery rhyme. That is a proper fucking illness. In the old days, they had proper illnesses, didn't they? Plagues, poxes, palsies and agues. Not syndromes and disorders. Oh, Jesus. Shot they've got us dying of now. Sorry. You know, in the old days, what you do when you got sick, yeah? You got the plague and it was going to kill you, yeah? There's only one way of getting over that illness. One simple way. You had to do what Collier does every time he gets sick. One simple thing. What you do is you snap out of it! 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 People with ME would take their exams like everybody else. And fail them if necessary. Oh yeah. Because in the old days when you failed an exam, you were told that you failed that exam. You weren't told you could catch up with the modules on the coursework. Who changed that and why were we not informed? I mean, where is the harm in turning to a 12-year-old and saying, listen, son, you failed that exam, didn't you? You failed it, yeah? You had 2 hours in there to read and write, remember, and you blew it out your arse. You're a failure, do you understand me? You're 12 and you're a failure. Where is the harm in saying that to a 12-year-old? I, for one, emerged unscathed. I'll tell you this much, there's a harvester on the horizon. Oh, yeah. One day I'll get my carvery. One day I'll make me money on the food. And the point is this, in the old days, you'd snap out of it. That's what the doctor would say, and he'd come at you waving a leech, wouldn't he? Yeah? This back then, the medical profession had the good grace to admit they didn't know what the fucking hell they were doing. Come on, sir, let's drill a hole in your head, let the demon out. How about it, eh? Come on, it's all right, think with your lungs, it's an established fact. Here we go. Come on, snap out of it. The point is this. In the old days, you'd snap out of it. These days, you just take your pills, your penicillin, your antibiotics. Now, penicillin, antibiotics, was invented by a British inventor. Yeah? A man from Scotland, a British inventor, called Alexander Fleming. Now, Alexander Fleming's between Bond books. He'd just finished GoldenEye. He was working up to Goldfinger. It was his gold phase. Now, Mr. Fleming's working method was dead simple. What he'd do, is he'd eat a very big breakfast first thing, leave the plates, work through the rest of the day. Now, penicillin, antibiotics, was discovered last thing on a Friday. He was typing away at the time, right? Oh, Mr. Bond. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Press the button on the ejector seat. Pussy. Pussy. It's been a year. Now, suddenly the typewriter jammed. The L key got stuck down. Starts shooting out yards of Welsh. Terrifying. Welsh, or code as I prefer to call it. The Germans had used Welsh in the war, it could have been a very different outcome. There's no computer known to man that can crack it. No. There ain't. Now, Alexander Fleming, he looked up from that typewriter and he looked across them plates and something caught his eye. So on one of them plates, on one of them little plates, there was a piece of mould. On one of them fucking plates. And that's all that penicillin was, wasn't it? A piece of mould on a fucking plate. And he took two simple things, a piece of mould and a fucking plate, he put them together and created penicillin. Saved all your lives. That's all it was, Seamus. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. Do it, son, go on. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. Good boy. Excellent. Hold on the front row, let's go. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. Again. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. Everyone, why not? A piece of mould on a fucking plate. And again. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. One more time. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. Take me home. A piece of mould on a fucking plate. That's all it was. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that, Steve. Go on. Imagine it. Go on, Squire. Imagine it. Do the imagining action, Steve. Imagine it. Keep going. Keep going. I'll tell you when you've imagined it, mate. Keep going. Come on, Steve. Imagine it. Have you imagined it, Steve? Have you? Yeah, well, there's no need, is there, mate? It's happened. What is this? Alexander Fleming used British thinking to discover penicillin antibiotics. Now, British thinking is old style thinking. British thinking is pint for the fella, glass of white wine, fruit-based drink for the lady thinking. British thinking has pickle with its ploughman's lunch. British thinking selects mighty white, not French stick for its ploughman's lunch. British thinking has cheddar, not brie, with its ploughman's lunch. British thinking would never, ever eat margarine. British thinking is old style thinking. Yeah? British thinking had not heard of Channel 4 until they moved the cricket. British thinking does not like what it has found. Christ! Eurotrash! Oh my God! Still, it's been a year. Now, you know you've hit rock bottom when you're taping Eurotrash, don't you? No such thing as an ironic wank, sadly. British thinking. It's the finest thinking in the world. It's not the thinking of some sort of new man. Yeah? Say a bloke called Damien. A man wearing an earring, a sort of geezer who might allow a woman to buy herself a beer. And if Alexander Fleming had been like you, Damien, his head clogged up with new man, French-based, Ponce-derived thinking, what would have happened, eh, Squire? I'll tell you. You'd have washed those fucking plates up, wouldn't you?
The mould have never took hold, would it?
It's been me and Collier talking about the fucking Germans. That was for trying. But why? Why have we got British stinking lanes, Jim? Any suggestions? Steve, any suggestions? Because we're British. It's a circular argument, isn't it, sir? One alarmingly similar to the one I'm about to employ. So, have you ever had to take a bullet for Steve? As his bodyguard? Would you take a bullet for Steve? No. It's best to get that out in the open, really, isn't it? In a bodyguard situation. You're not going to get off with him like Kevin Costner, eh? Steve's got a giant grin on his face. I was never confused, mate. I know the difference. I was 12, it was a crush. Captain of the football team.
I've forgotten my shorts.
Now, what is this? Yeah, the point is this. British thinking keeps us permanently one step ahead of the world because we have a natural advantage that keeps us one step ahead of the rest of the world. And that is because we, the British, the reason we have British thinking is because we, the British, think in English. That's right. And English is the easiest, most straightforward language to think in, Lone Jim, because English is natural, isn't it? English is a natural language that forms naturally in the human brain. Deep down in the grey matter, grey is an English word, there's a clue for you. Spelled with an E, Neil. Still, if you can't spell the word colour right, you're not going to get the individuals on the money, are you? Deep down in the grey matter of the human brain, the nerve synapses knit together to form the English alphabet. Yeah? And that's why all the other languages in the world use our alphabet, because there's English in there somewhere struggling to escape. Except, of course, for the Chinese who've gone on some appalling detour. Jesus, what is it, eh? There's pictures of things that are pictures of things they're no longer pictures of. Shame! No wonder they're angry and confused. I mean, with an alphabet like that, you would none be a food, wouldn't you? I know nothing about China, obviously. Well, no, I know one thing. Apparently the most common name in the world is Wong. Did you know that, Steve? No. You really need to brush up, don't you? The most common name in the world is Wong, but that's not true, is it, mate? No, it's Tracy, obviously. Now, we think in English. English is a natural language that forms naturally in the human brain. We've got any teachers here tonight? Anyone who teaches?
Yeah,
Yeah? Where are you? What's your name, pal?
Carl.
Carl, beautiful British name. Now, what do you teach, Carl?
English.
English, good boy. Don't have to teach it very much, though, do you? It's natural. Now, so... Is this school posh or normal, sir?
It's in Japan.
It's in Japan? So you're teaching Japanese people English?
Yeah.
But you've noticed, in your experience, that English forms naturally in the human brain, haven't you?
It does.
Yes, it does. Good man. You're my kind of teacher, Carl. The teaching profession's in all sorts of shit, isn't it, like Jim? Yeah? Ever since they got rid of the cane, they haven't really been able to attract the right sort of people. Now, so you've noticed, Carl, that English forms naturally in the human brain. Good boy. Yeah? Yeah? So English forms naturally in the brain. As a result, English is the most beautiful, poetic, diverse, and fucking expressive language in the world. It's no language. There's no language with the higher realm of sheer fucking expressiveness. Now, it can't be taught. Now, how did this happen? Hey, Carl, do you know?
No idea.
No idea. Well, I'll tell you, mate, it's actually a miracle. Huh? There should be no language in this country. There should be none. Given half a chance, British people would rather not speak to each other if they can possibly fucking help it. All right, yeah. Do you know God Save the Queen? No! Not that, you see. We'd rather not speak to each other if we can possibly help it. Now, fortunately, something came along that saved the English language, and that is, of course, the weather. Yeah? The weather in this country is terrible. We've got any Australians in tonight? Any Aussies in? Fantastic. Welcome back, love. You've done your time, you've paid your debt. Now, I love Australians, genetically engineered for bar work. Now, tell me. What's your name, sweetheart? Marie, beautiful British name. Where are you from in Australia, Marie? Queensland, fantastic. Yeah? That's that bit in the north, isn't it? What, are you from Brisbane?
No,
Further north, fantastic. I love yours, you're beautiful people, Marie. I think you're fantastic people. Yeah? You don't fuck about, do you? I mean, the way you've taken that English language and boiled it down to its barest bones. It's very impressive. Listen, Marie, you could say, good day, couldn't you? Yeah? You could say, good day to you, sir. Yeah? You choose not to. Yeah? You say, good day, like that. Save yourself a valuable split second. Extra time to loll around on the beach and do fuck all. And then the genius of it is you take that 00 and you save it up for use in a ridiculous place name later on, don't you? Goolarong the Doolarong or something. Now, the point is this. The weather in this country is terrible, isn't it, Marie? Yeah? But that is our ace in the hole. That's the reason why English is the most beautiful, diverse, famous people in the world. That is, of course, because of the weather, because there's always something new along in the sky every 15, 20, 25 minutes. As a result, we the British have got lots to talk about. Otherwise we wouldn't.
God, fuck me, you said that rain earlier. I know, it was astonishing, wasn't it? It's incredible. Yeah? I had sort of hail where I'm, you're joking. No, I had hail.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, I had hail.
You had hail? No, I fucking, didn't know. Of course I had hail, you know. This is a wind coming off the North Sea. It's essentially Arctic in origin, clashing with the prevailing westerly. It's going to, relieve rain precipitation situation. It's going to cause hail.
Oh, yeah, I suppose you're right. Oh, there you go. I mean, the thing is, at this latitude, Britain really shouldn't be as mild as it is. That's absolutely right. It's because of the Gulf Stream coming off the Caribbean. I know. That's the reason we have palm trees in Cornwall. I know that.
The thing is this time of year is very interesting because it's
spring, innit? Oh, I love spring. Spring, 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 spring. I love spring.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year. It's a time of rebirth and renewal. Rebirth and renewal. The little lambs frolicking together. The frosty ground yielding beautiful shooting vegetables and plants. It's a beautiful time. The fowls frolicking together. A beautiful time of rebirth and renewal.
Rebirth and renewal.
A beautiful time of rebirth, renewal, and of course, the start of Formula One. Absolutely fantastic. What a season so far. Well, we've got to discuss the Schumacher question, haven't we? Oh, Christ. Yeah, because let's face it, old Schumacher, we have to face this. He's German. He's German, the car's Italian. He's German, the car's Italian, but it's designed by a British designer. He's one of us! He's driving for Britain!
He's British, technically, on paper. Yes, he is. This is a bit sad.
Now, it's going to be an interesting season. If Jordan get their act together, they could get a couple of podiums, get third place.
No, I think Williams will got it this season. You do? Yeah, Jensen's very keen. Yeah, he is.
Of course, the car's got blue livery on now, which means it'll score points. How many score points means blue at Williams' car?
I knew that.
I mean, interesting. The interesting thing, the joke in the pack, the thing we have to discuss, face up to as British motor racing driving fans, is, of course, David Coulthard. Oh, yeah. Because let's face it, he says he's got no luck, but as we saw lately, he's the luckiest bastard on earth. Lucky, yeah, but, he says he's got no luck in the car, but that's not true. That McLaren's the best car on the track, exactly. Straight line, speed down, force the car set up, the tyre set up. Yeah, reliability problems conquered, they've got the best tactical teams, the best car on the fucking track. They won the last 2 championships, exactly. It's the best car on the fucking track. So what's the problem with Coulthard? Well, it's dead simple. Old Coulthard's in the best car on the track, but he drives like a cunt. He does. He drives like a cunt, but he's a good bloke. So is that possible? I don't know. It's a sort of cunt, anti-cunt paradox. How can you be a good bloke who's a cunt? I don't know. He's a cunt who's not a cunt. He's a cunt who's not a cunt. He's a cunt 1 minute, he's not a cunt the next. He's a cunt who's not a cunt. He's a cunt who's not a cunt. Coulthard is a cunt who's not a cunt. He's 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 a cunt who's not a cunt. Because of the weather, the most beautiful, poetic, diverse language in the world. Now, you just heard it in action. Doesn't get any better than that. Now, if Great Britain had been somewhere decent weather, say Spain, now, I'm not suggesting that Great Britain was Spain. That is not what I suggested. Now, if Great Britain
have been where Spain was. Not just in Great Britain, was it? Imagine Spain is now Britain. Imagine that Spanish place, right? The Spanish location is now Britain. That square bit of France is now Britain, yeah? Full of British people who've turned out to be British, even though they're living in what could have been Spain, but it's not Spain, it's Britain, right? Yeah? Yeah, fuck Spain, there's no Spain. Yeah? Madrid is called London, Barcelona is called Southampton. It's detail, really, we don't need this. Portugal's filling in for Ireland. The Welsh are in the Basque region, give them some hills, shut them up. Now, babe, this is a what if, not an actual fact. And if Great Britain had been where Spain was, there'd be no English language, would there? Of course not. Nothing to talk about. Nothing in the sky. Beautiful weather, 365, including Christmas. Yeah? Nothing to talk about. Nice day? Yeah. What about culture? Oh, it's a cunt. You see, some things remain constant in all possible universes. Now, if Great Britain had been where Spain was, but not Spain, there'd be nothing to talk about, therefore no English language. Also, it's a double whammy, because what do British people do in hot weather? British people in hot weather do one simple thing. Nothing! Fuck all! Out come the deck chairs, cans of lager, nothing happens in this country in decent weather. Everyone takes a sickie, that's it. End of story. On go the shorts of hope. Out come the pale legs of experience. On go the sandals of folly. Nothing happens in this country in hot weather. The British do fuck all in decent weather. And this, of course, explains Australia, doesn't it? Yeah? Because they're British. She's your Queen Marie. They're British. Fuck all happens in Australia. Mind you, they've done the place up lovely, haven't they? When they got there, it's just sand, boulders and giant, freakish bouncing mice. And now look. It's paradise, isn't it? They've just done around the edges, of course. They need to get their finger out. Work towards the middle. Finish the job off, love. Some people back in chains, that's my advice. Now, if Great Britain, just a suggestion, if Great Britain had been where Spain was, there'd be no English language, would there? Yeah? Yeah? No weather, nothing going on. If Shakespeare had been living in Spain, and you have to respect Shakespeare, ladyman, you have to respect Shakespeare. Doesn't matter who you are, you have to. He was hard as nails. Geezer from Birmingham, writing poetry. Oh, Christ. Give that boy a wide berth. He's going to be tooled up, isn't he? Yeah. He won't get back in the car, will he? Oh, gross, no. He's going to plead self-defence. Now, the point is this. If Shakespeare had been living in Spain, he wouldn't have written them plays, would he? Them plays which are this country's finest cultural achievement that no one likes and no one has seen. Now, he'd have been sat in that deck chair, wouldn't he? Old Shaky. Can of lager in his lap. The beautiful British sun. Beating down his head, and he had a bigger head than most of us here, so he caught it quicker than you and I. With a white ruff like that, sun trap. Oh, forsooth. Oh. And you've had this thought. Old Shaky. You've had this thought. That's all it would have been. A thought. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a thought. That's all. To be or not? To be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing
End them.
to die.
To sleep no more, and by sleep to say when their heart taken 1,000 natural shocks the flesh is here to. These are consummations of value to be wished.
To die, to sleep, perchance, to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pains of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office.
Ah, no, fuck it, it's a gorgeous day, I can't be arsed. There are no Spanish plagues, are there, mate? Really, we've got to get to the heart of why the British are like they are, why we're the most sensible people in the world. And I think the best way of investigating that is to look at the patron saints of Great Britain. Now, does America have a patron saint, Neil? No. You couldn't get anyone, could you? No, because there's many saints in the British Isles, mate. If you want to understand the people of the British Isles, look at their saints. Now, we got any jocks in tonight? Any jocks in? Yeah. Come on, let's hear it for Scotland. Come on. Yeah. Fantastic. We got any Welsh in? Yeah. Spread out across the hills. Do we have any Irish in tonight? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Quite a few. Safety numbers, of course, with the Irish. It's when there's one on his own you have to panic, innit? With luggage, looking at his watch.
Now that's all in the past now, isn't it? Yeah?
Not very long ago, obviously. See, on the subject, there's one thing I don't understand. It's them Yanks who pretend to be Irish. What's that all about, eh? As if being American ain't bad enough. Now, look at the saints, look at the Scots saint, eh?
St Andrew.
Canny Scotsman, eh? Absolutely. Invents golf, sets up a hotel on the proceeds. And of course, there's St David, the Welsh saint. Now, no one knows what St David did. Nobody has the faintest idea. It's the God's honest truth. Nobody fucking knows, do they, love? No one knows. No. Nobody knows. We had a vicar in, yeah? We had a vicar in here 2 weeks ago and he didn't know either. He didn't know. Mind you, he also told us that God didn't exist. He's retired, so he's allowed to tell you that. It's a job like any other. Now, the point is this. No one knows what St David did. Nobody. Yeah, but the important thing to remember about St David, ladies and gentlemen, is that he took the Welsh gig, didn't he? God bless him. Must have had nothing else on, obviously. Saint without portfolio, something like that. And then, of course, there's St Patrick, the Irish saint, who got rid of some snakes. Now, that's pest control at best, isn't it? It's an OBE at a push. The silver-tongued Irish talked him up. For me, the ultimate down-to-earth saint, British saint, is, of course, St George. Yeah, thank you. Now, St George is your ultimate down-to-earth British fucking bloke, isn't he?
Because he did what any of us would do, didn't he? What any of us here would do. St. George did what any of us here would do. He killed a dragon! That's right. Britain's first notch on endangered species belt. He got in there. Kill a dragon! That's right. Yeah? Lights out for the big lizard. Now, that for me, mate, St. George, the ultimate down-to-earth British bloke. He didn't lay down his life for Jesus or any of that bullshit. No. Now, that's the sort of thing Italian saints do, innit? Lay down their life for Jesus. Fair enough, any Italian who wants to do that, I've no problem with that. Any Italian just wants to lay down his life in any general situations. Be a turn-up, let's face it. Folded early 43. St. George is the ultimate down-to-earth British bloke. He did what any of us here would do. He did his fucking bit. Yeah, from the mouth of the monster, he rescued the lady fair. He did his fucking bit. You can't argue with that. Now, let's just forget, for one moment, that St. George was actually from Malta. What? That is irrelevant. What? To him be the ultimate British bloke. Let's also forget there's no such thing as dragons. They're mythical creatures that never existed. That is irrelevant to the story of St. George and the dragon. Nothing to do with it. Let's also forget it's an allegorical tale that tells the triumph of Christian values over pagan values. Yeah? Let the intellectuals worry about that sort of bullshit. Now, the thing you have to remember about St. George is this, ladies and gentlemen, is he's the ultimate down-to-earth British bloke. Because he did what any of us here would do. He kicked the shit out of someone to impress a bird. That's right. And he did it while he was on holiday in the Mediterranean. That's right. So I'd like to leave you with the religious thoughts the weekend, of course. And I'd like to leave you with the religious thoughts. This is something that St. Paul once said. Now, St. Paul's a great bloke. He's a mate of Jesus. He's a mate of Jesus, St. Paul. In fact, all of Jesus' mates were saints. It's a surprise, really wasn't one himself. He must have filled the foreman wrong or something. It's that or they wouldn't have builders. Let's face it, Jesus, at heart, was a builder, wasn't he, Steve? Of course he was. Disappears off the face of the earth for 3 days with no rational explanation. St. Paul's a great bloke. He's from London, as you know. Cathedral's here, isn't it? Yeah? St. Peter, he got the place in Rome. St. John just got an ambulance, didn't he? St. Michael, a chain of flagging pant shops. What I'm saying, there's even saints can draw short straws, are only fucking human. Now, any vicar will tell you that. Now, human yet divine at the same time is a complicated concept we ain't got time for. Now, St. Paul said this, and he said it in the second letter to Corinthians. First one, of course, lost in the post. Next thing he knows, he's got Corinthians on the phone. What's that now, Paul? So, he knocks up another one in a hurry. He can't remember what's in the first one. Ends up contradicting most of it. 2 letters turn up in the same post together and ends up looking like a right twat. Laughing stock of Corinth. Now, that used to matter. Now, St. Paul said this. And he speaks to the child and he speaks to the man. Got any kids, Bill? No. Fuck. Suggestion, obviously. You got kids, Steve? What you got, Squire?
2 of each.
2 of each. Beautiful. What are the boys called?
Billy and Mitchell.
Billy and Mitchell. Beautiful British names. Well done. They're yours. Well done, love. Eh? Beautiful. Nice work. Congratulations. Because I've got a little boy, I feel like I can let my guard down now, because I'll be honest with you, my guard has been up all night. I don't know if you've noticed. I've got a little boy, he's 7. I actually haven't seen my son now. For 5 years. Because 5 years ago, 5 years ago, my wife
with the French blow. And took my little boy. She's since left him for a German. They drove off in a Tati Rover together and she's since relocated to Spain for extradition purposes after last year's abortive Tagalove snatchback attempt. White Transit, the classic.
I ask him in my now. Don't know what he looks like anymore.
Was you at the birth of Billy and Mitchell? Yeah, I was there. The birth of my boy. Yeah. And I'll tell you this much. To see one's wife in such agony, torture, and physical anguish was a rare privilege. One that every man should catch on videotape if he can. For repeated reruns later. Eventually the boy was born by caesarean section. I have to tell you now, with my hand on my heart, that was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Christ! And I know we weren't getting on, but then the dock cuts are open. Be careful what you wish for in this life. I haven't seen my son now for 5 years. And all this heartache, all this aggro. Makes you wonder why you had him in the first place. I mean, why did you have kids, Steve? You wanted to. The only concrete thing we can do in this life is to create more life, to have children. I mean, you can play as many tunes as you like in your time, Steve, but your kids are your true fucking legacy, aren't they? Yeah? Those tunes will be gone and forgotten, no longer in the ether anymore, but your boys, they live on after you. Yeah? And that's why we have kids, innit? So that we can live on. So that we continue. Our lives carry on because of their lives. We go on because of them. And that is why so many publicans have children, Langevin. Because the wear and tear on your kidneys in this business is shocking. So, to get a matching spare pair in the family is like gold dust. Daddy's gone, I'm scuppered. Now, St. Paul said this. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I acted as a child. I spake of childish things. Spake, that's wrong. The King James translation for any Scots here tonight. James 6 and first classic Scots morning. Decent job comes up in London, fucks off pronto. He was only human. I mean, why else did the Scots invent the steam engine? So they could leave. Television, so they could look at pictures of somewhere else. All them big hills, lousy reception, they didn't think it through. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I acted as a child. I spake of childish things. But now I am a man. A hooch is out of the question. It's a fruit-based drink for the lady in it, ladies and gentlemen. We've learned that tonight, if nothing else. You've been fantastic. It's been a pleasure drinking with you. Have a good weekend. I'll see you again. Please, take your glasses back to the bar! Well, you've been fabulous tonight. It's been an honour drinking with you. Beautiful, beautiful people. You pregnant, love? Yeah, thank God for that, eh? Oh! When's it due?
July.
July the what?
26.
26. Good luck, sweetheart. Yeah? Yeah? Have you bought a camcorder yet? You have a natural birth. You have a natural birth. You go for that. You hope you're going for natural birth. Yeah, yeah. You know what, love? Smallpox is natural, isn't it? Being gored by a bull elephant is natural, isn't it? This is what I'm saying. Now, the point is this. The point is this. Good luck to you. Good luck. Round of applause for us. You've been fantastic people tonight. And the point is this, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a pop at all and sundry tonight. Scots, Welsh, French, Germans, Irish, Italians, Spanish, Mexicans, Australians, Spanish, transsexuals, obviously. Pianists. But what's the message of this show? Eh? What is it I'm really actually trying to say up here? Eh? What is the message? I see trees of green, I see bloom for me and for you, and in the man now. What a wonderful world. The colours of the rainbow so pretty in the sky is also on the faces of geezers going by. I see friends shaking hands, mate, saying how'd you do? They're really saying I love you. I see babies born, it's disgusting. I watch them grow, freakish. And I think to myself, shh, quiet. What a wonderful world. Everyone, yes, I think to myself. Thank you very much. You've been a pleasure. It's been an honour and a privilege speaking with you tonight. Please take your glasses back to the bar.
Trade, we've had your money now. Fuck off home.